Good day, fellow cinemas and movie geeks of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews. It used to be Geek Gamers, but then I realised I'm not that much of a gamer whatsoever, and I most likely will never really mention, only reference gaming on this channel. So I've changed it to Movie Geeks. So basically, Cinema Nerd or Movie Geek pretty much both means the same, that you like movies. So basically the same thing. It's a synonym. It's a synonym. A little bit of a... yes. In grammar. Isn't grammar great? Words that have to do with grammar. Lovely. Anywho, what am I talking about today? I'm not talking about just one movie. I'm talking about two movies. But movies that are like 20 years apart. A bit like when I did X-Men Apocalypse. I pretty much not necessarily reviewed, but just basically summarised my thoughts on each of the movies and then talked about the Apocalypse movie at great length. And that was an hour, and then I realised, wait, if anyone, like, I act like, oh, there's not really a chance anyone would actually want to watch one of my 30-minute rambles, getting my thoughts out, you know, to actually get opinion on a movie, but who knows, someone will, so drawing in that possibility, I then have to actually, you know, put an annotation at the beginning. This is where I actually start talking about it. So, today, I'm talking about not only Independence Day Resurgence, but the original 1996 Independence Day. I'm assuming that's the year it came out, but it said 20 years later. So, 1996. Sorry, I don't have that type of information on hand on a piece of paper. So, I'm going to put an annotation here. This is the time I actually start talking about Independence Day Resurgence. So thank you for waiting 2 minutes for me to actually mention this. If you actually want to know someone's thoughts on Independence Day Resurgence, here it is. I say that because the movie only came out pretty much today, at midnight. So, and typing in Independence Day Resurgence, the reviewers I recognised was like a Mr. Sunday Movies and Jeremy Johns. So, you know, in case anyone just like, oh, look at this round chubby faced kid on the thumbnail, yeah, I might want to know his thoughts on it. I say, well, you want to know my thoughts? Well, here they are. At this time, I took the annotation off. I'll probably forget, because, you know, I'm going to talk so much. I should have got some water. Anywho, oh, I left my blazer. Got a Facebook notification, that's nice. Anywho, oh wait, actually, you know, the weather isn't that hot, and might as well, really. Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter, but keeping up appearances, as I said, bugger. I could easily edit this out, but, you know, it feels a bit more authentic. Like, see, it's just, you know, me, you, we're having a chat about this film, a movie you may have not have seen, and I look like a twit. I apologise, you know, but here, if I wore this outside, that'd be different. But I'm in my room looking at a laptop screen on this terrible webcam with awful audio. But anywho, okay. The reason I'm talking about not only the new Independence Day, but the first Independence Day, because last night I had the privilege of seeing a double bill screening of the first Independence Day, which was apparently remastered with an extra 8 minutes. And then the new Independence Day Resurgence in 3D. I can help that. So, like when I saw Back to the Future, all three movies on the big screen for 6 hours, I thought, because this was actually advertised, I saw a video on YouTube of like Jeff Goldblum saying, on this day you could see them both. I'm surprised they didn't play it. Mainly because I didn't think anyone would turn up. I'll get to how many people turned up in a minute. So much information I need to tell you, because this is an Independence Day special. I'm sorry I'm not wearing my Independence Day t-shirt, because this was the first time I saw the original film. Yes, I've never actually seen the first Independence Day, but I watched a review of it by the Nostalgia Critic, where he basically, you know, talked about the film scene, like by certain scenes, summarising it. But now I've seen the movie from start to finish with apparent 8 minutes, and since I've never seen the movie before, I don't know which of the minutes were those new remastered 8 minutes. So basically, I'm just going to say I saw the whole movie with a bit extra. That bit extra, I don't know which it was. But I do know of the movie. I do recognise a lot of the imagery, like the White House blowing up, Will Smith, and it's just charm. Oh, it's charm. But yes, I got to see it. What do you know? I was the only 16-year-old there, because I assume pretty much everyone in that room, just for nostalgia to see it again on the big screen. And I believe when I went in there, about 16 people were there, I believe. And it went down like, I don't know, maybe to 10 when, Resurgence was about to begin. I'm going to get to my confusion on the demographic the new one's targeting, but first I'm going to talk about this movie. Independence Day. Okay. It was fun. It was fun to see this cheesy, fun, popcorn flick, disaster, generic alien invasion movie with some hokey acting on the big screen for 2 hours. It was fun. In fact, I made notes on it. It's actually quite handy because when Independence Day Resurgence ended, I didn't wait throughout the credits. I didn't really care to see if there was an after credit scene. That has to do with my main reaction to the film. But by the time I got home, it was 2 a.m. and so I didn't want to do this straight away. Someone's barking. Yay! Yeah, I might as well stop. But I'm stopping now for my dog barking, but for not when I got the blazer. Give me a mail. I apologise again. I'm not the most professional. I mean, look at the setup. Anywho, so yes, I made some notes. I was going to do this as soon as I got home, but it was 2 a.m. I'm very tired. No, I believe this eye, if it looks red because I rubbed it so much, because I was very tired, and I slept till 2:30 in the afternoon. People outside disturbing me, trying to review this alien invasion blockbuster, and very professionally, it's not working out so well. Okay, the first Independence Day. I'm going to go note for note, the review in the notes I have made. So, by the way, spoilers. When I tell people I haven't seen The Sixth Sense yet, people say, "Well, you should have. You're 20 years old." Well, the fact that I haven't gotten around to it, I really want to be in a certain mood to watch from what I've heard, 2 hours sci-fi extravaganza, and there's also the money to buy it. If it's not on Netflix. So there was I think a lot of spoilers for me talking about the first Independence Day. So if you don't want to be spoiled, just skip to the part when I talk about Resurgence. If you're not interested in Independence Day whatsoever, I don't know why you clicked. But the movie's 20 years old, so I think I deserve some leniency. Okay, my first note was the very hokey acting. Now, this I can forgive because it was made in the 90s and it's an alien invasion blockbuster. I'm not looking for bloody Schindler's List acting here. But yes, it's very hokey acting. The thing is, people don't really act like people. They react in weird ways. No one really acts like people, mainly because pretty much all the characters are just stereotypes, like redneck stereotype, Jewish stereotype. Do you know that Jeff Goldblum's dad is Jewish? Listen to him say Shamil and wear, the hat. So if that's religiously insensitive, I don't know the word. But yes, you can expect some hokiness, like acting out of the 50s or something like that, in a bloody, I'm guessing is a little what's the word? It's to keep in touch with all the other old cheesy 1950s sci-fi films. Like how in the Iron Giant, where Hogarth is watching that clearly cheesy sci-fi film on TV, it's I need to go back to the lab. I mean, it's not that bad, but the acting in some parts could be a little too bit hokey. A great example was the alcoholic redneck who flies the plane. Yeah, that's a good example. If you've seen it, I know what you're talking about. Stuff like that. Will Smith, charming as ever. I mean, it's Will Smith. I mean, as soon as he's on screen, I'm I mean, everyone, most of the characters are stereotypes, but I'm fine with that. you know, I think it kind of makes it more entertaining because I'm not looking for a very complex layer of characters and again cheesy alien invasion blockbuster. But Will Smith I really like because Will Smith he's a charming guy. You know, like how he like just punched an alien. It's like, yeah, Will Smith punching an alien and say welcome to Earth and they just smokes a cigar. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. That's my dad shouting. Are you surprised? No, this isn't my house. I don't own a house, surprisingly. Okay, my third point is that the special effects hold up surprisingly well. I mean, here's the thing. Independence Day Resurgence chocked loads of CGI everywhere. Do you really think they're going to take the time to build a Big Ben or a London Eye and then destroy it? No, they don't have time for that. And so they use CGI here. It, you know, is nice to see back when they used to build models and actually blow it up. And yes, I'd rather that than using CGI to blow up the White House because, yeah, it was so good to see that on the big screen, just the giant White House blown up. Because it's, well, when people think of the movie, that's what they think of, for mostly. So the special effects hold up really well. The aliens look really cool. I do like the aliens. I mean, they made it just generic tentacle like Cthulhu-looking aliens that probably are probably in some way that look like they're related to the bloody xenomorphs from Alien, the Alien universe, the the ACU, haha. But anywho, but yes, the special effects hold up very well. Mainly, again, the models and just the explosions, and when when it is like I believe CG, I don't really think. It's actually hard to tell like where they actually use CG because like all the effects are good, so I don't know when it's a model. Like the fire and like, you know, and when Will Smith is standing and looking at the giant spaceship, it looks good. It looks really good. Anywho, I put scenes are inconsistent. But what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to think of an example. It's just the fact like for example, there might be like a scene. There was a scene where like a bunch of people were injured because, you know, the aftermath of the whole aliens blowing crap up, so people are injured, and then suddenly it'll go back to like Jeff Goldblum and his dad and their witty banter, or like Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation acting like a crazy little scientist. So yes, there's parts where it's a bit inconsistent, like sad, just a bit comical, just like that, just like one cut. There you go. Now with these characters and now having some banter, but again, I mean, like looking at a cheesy popcorn flick, yes, I enjoyed it. I had fun, and it was from the 90s. But as an actual movie that's meant to get an emotional reaction, besides like, oh look at that explosion, man, and like, oh that's cool, doesn't really work as well. But so yes, the emotional character layered aspect is really crap. It's a flawed movie. What do you think I'm going to say? Citizen Kane, which I haven't seen. Oh man, what Citizen? I've seen Independence Day. I've seen that. No one acts like normal people. Well, I think a good example is that is when Jeff Goldblum and his wife are arguing about their divorce, and I'm like, there's an alien invasion happening, and you're arguing about this. There's life in the universe. Look outside and there's a giant spaceship over New York City and you're talking about this. But yes, I'm guessing that could be kind of funny, but it was kind of distracting. Some moments are unintentionally funny. For example, the bit when like some rednecks go into a bar and said, did those aliens do any sexual things to you? And because, you know, the redneck alcoholic said that he was abducted by aliens. I assume I was meant to feel sorry for him, but it was just funny because, you know, he was saying all that, and also the hokey acting. That was also unintentionally funny. Trying to think. So yes, some hokey, cheesy moments that don't really work was unintentionally funny when I wasn't meant to be laughing. But okay, what's next? General. I put general alien invasion blockbuster with tons of similarities. For example, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You know, the bit where, you know, they communicate with the light, so they do that. Bunch of rednecks coming in contact with aliens. Mars Attacks, which I believe Mars Attacks were basically taking a mick out of alien invasion movies as a whole. General people want to like shoot nukes at it, Iron Giant. So yes, if you've seen an alien invasion movie, there's an aspect or similarity in Independence Day. But I've heard dot 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 is such fun, still very fun. What else? I put weirdly similar to movies like Love Actually. I say that because you know, like movies like Love Actually, where they go like to this character and they go to this completely different character and and towards the end they all meet or they just bump into each other somehow. They have some, you know, some communication. It's like here, like you get introduced to Will Smith and to Jeff Goldblum and then the president and then to this like alcoholic redneck, and then they all meet and come in contact with each other at the end. Very coincidentally, like. Wow, what a coincidence that, like, that redneck redneck alcoholic comes in contact with Will Smith on that random place. Or how Will Smith somehow finds his wife in the middle of the night, you know, in New York. You look past it. I looked past it. Not many other people could look past it. It's not meant to be a tour de force. That's not even how you pronounce it. I'm falling at the seams. I bet that's not even how you pronounce it either. Everything's a lie. What else? And speaking of things that, you know, you just forgive, it's a bit like, for example, Jeff Goldblum defeating aliens with a 90s Mac laptop. Might give, you know, putting an alien virus in their apparently advanced technology. An explosion, not wanting to go through a door when Boomer the dog. What about Boomer? Went through the door and somehow the explosion didn't go through it. The shield, it takes a while for the shield to actually go down, but then they shoot the second nuclear weapon because the president shot, and now it works. Stuff like that. A bit of plot hole. This movie's flawed. I had fun. Okay. There's a lot. For example, I'm sure there's a lot of movies that like said, "Oh, that's bad." That's I don't. That's not a very good movie, but I just find it. I had fun. A bit like how X-Men: Origins Wolverine was my favourite movie at one point when I was 7. The film is mostly shots of people staring at the sky or at each other. Like someone should make a complimentary all the time. People are just either staring at the sky or at each other, and they're like, "My God!" So people like I could basically like cut like one of them staring at something. I got to put something else. They can be staring at anything, like staring at a water bottle. Like, my God! And then it cuts to a water bottle. I could easily act that out.
Then everyone loses their minds.
And the speech part, you know, the notorious speech, you know, we will not go quietly into the night. That gave me chills, because even I know that, and hearing that on the big screen gave me chills. That was fun. And that basically ends all my that's all my notes on the first Independence Day. So yes, I've now seen it. I actually would like to buy it on DVD because I had fun. I had quite a bit of fun with it. Sure, it's not all explosions and aliens fighting. There's moments where it goes down and, you know, the talking and such. But, oh yeah, and also, the son of the redneck alcoholic reminds me of Keanu Reeves. Like, literally got a thin face, his hair was, like, parting like this. Like Keanu Reeves had 90s, and he actually talked like him, like, "Dad, we need to go help them, Dad." And he, like, "I know Kung Fu." Like he talks like that. That's it. No, actually no. For the thumbnail, I'm gonna have to post it here and I'm gonna like. There you go. That's the thumbnail. I'm sorry. Maybe another time, but come on. I need water. I'm not even joking. I realised when getting this bottle of water. Or should I say vodka? Haha. That I realised I haven't seen Citizen Kane in Sixth Sense, and people say I'm a movie buff. I am ashamed. Just because, I mean, like, yes, I went and seen, what's the movie I saw and I'm slightly embarrassed? I went and saw. Oh, well, I'm trying to think of a movie that I'm kind of embarrassed. I went and saw and actually asked for the ticket. I saw. It's on the tip of my tongue. I said I might. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. I seen that, but I haven't seen the Godfather trilogy. There you go. Get your pitchforks. Okay, so to sum up, so Independence Day Resurgence want people who want to know if the movie's actually good or not. I'm going to get to it, but they're just gonna skip to the part when I actually start talking about it, so they don't even know. I can't believe I got dressed just to talk about this. Ugh. Sorry if I come off a bit cocky. I apologise for that. But okay. Did I go through all my notes? I think I did. I could have made more, but I was tired when I got back. But yes, Independence Day. A movie I wasn't clamouring to see. Clamouring is that even a word? But I've heard about. I recognise. I know the imagery. I know the speech. I don't know it off by heart, but I know of it. I've seen a review of it. People talk about it, and well, on the internet. I don't really know anyone who casually references Independence Day, mainly because it's a big American movie. Because it has to. It's Independence Day is an American holiday, so I'm guessing it doesn't really get talked much here. But I don't know. What do I know? Yes, I found it a fun, hokey, cheesy, generic alien invasion movie full of stereotypes, scenes that don't really mesh well, and yeah, but there's explosions. The explosions are nice. Oh, and Jeff Goldblum with his we need to bind the signal and get the. It's a bit like how people say William Shatner talks like spark. When I watched Star Trek and when I watched that, I didn't really hear Jeff Goldblum constantly go like people say he does, and Star Trek in William Shatner necessarily talking like that, but yes, he did do his shtick like. We need to I can't replicate it. I can't do that. But yes, I'm trying to think who the president. The guy who played president. He was good though. And when I say hokey acting, I mean like Data. I thought, is that Data? But as soon as he started talking, I don't think I've ever actually watched a full episode of Star Trek Next Generation, but I know how Data sounds. I'm like, yep, that's Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. But yeah, he does he's a scientist, like a kooky scientist. But yeah, I forgive it for that. It was a cheesy action flick. I mean, like the aliens kind of look like a monster from that's referencing Independence Day Resurgence. I'm getting them mixed up so easily. Okay, here is when I'm talking Independence Day Resurgence. Here it is. I didn't like it. Okay, there you go. Now I ain't gonna do you like that. Okay, I should probably say. So yeah. Now this is actually quite funny. As I said at the beginning, last night I saw a double bill of the first Independence Day remastered with those 8 minutes, I don't know which it was, and Independence Day Resurgence. Obviously, when a new movie comes out, they have to play at midnight. I believe. I don't know what would happen if they play that at 8:59. Like I know they'd like get hunted down or something, but I don't know. So even when Independence Day finished, because I started at 8:45 with I don't know about 5 minutes of adverts or maybe 10, and then it started at it ended at 11:30. We had to wait about 30 minutes just for Independence Day Resurgence to start, which was in 3D. The last 3D movie I saw was Terminator Genesis. I'm going to pronounce it like that. And I believe I was the only person there. And the only reason I saw it in 3D because there was a glitch with the website where it said it was a 2D showing, but it was a 3D showing, and luckily I had like £1 in my card to buy myself some 3D glasses and watched it. And I don't like watching films in 3D I want to see it in 2D. I don't want dark glass, possibly smudgy glasses, because I got quite a bit and I haven't worn them in a very long time. And put them on and watch that. And like my eye, take my eyes 20 minutes to get used to the 3D movie. You can't watch one in a long time. But yes, Terminator Genesis was only mediocre anyway. The 3D didn't help. But yes, we had to have 3D glasses for this. Oh, and the funny thing is, this was the first movie I've ever went to a midnight showing to see. The only reason I went to this is because I can't take up I can't pass down, like, I can't not take up the opportunity to see Will Smith's beautiful face on the big screen. So I went to see that. Like, I haven't seen it before. Well, if I don't see it now, I probably won't for a very long time. So I took up that opportunity. I had no college today anyway, so I took it up, and I said, well, I could leave and just see Independence Day Resurgence another time in 2D, but nope, might as well get this over with. So did I see Civil War, a movie I was really excited for a midnight showing? No, I saw Independence Day Resurgence on a midnight showing, a sequel to a movie I only saw for the first time from start to finish that night and wasn't anticipating really whatsoever. I saw that as a midnight showing. I was one of the first people to see that at that cinema. Yay. Okay, let's just do this. I drink water very loudly. Okay. Here it is. Here we are. Let's go to the bottom. By the way, I don't know what Independence Day Resurgence. Did they have to use that generic of a title? It made me think of like Alien Resurrection. Yes, I wanted to own all the Alien movies. Okay, bloody back. I even own Alien vs Predator 2, the worst. But yes, Resurgence. I don't even know what Resurgence means. I don't even know what that means. Does that mean like clean, cleansed? I'm not gonna look. I don't want to waste. Actually, I could look up while I'm talking. That, multitask. But yes, Resurgence, like independent. I mean, like okay. Let me get into this. First, I want to look up what Resurgence means. Load. I'm wasting everyone's time and possibly my own. In Resurgence, an increase or revival after a period of little activity, popularity, or... Are you kidding me? A period... little activity... I don't know if they're being meta on it. I think they're being meta. Either they're saying the aliens had little activity and now they're back again, or they're saying this franchise had little activity for 20 years and little activity in the actual production because even I remember seeing, like, not really caring whatsoever, but seeing an article once mentioned in a YouTube video saying Will Smith might do it, might not, going to be in 2 parts, 2016, 2015, and not really caring. And so that had little activity, and now the sequel has come. They're being meta. I think it's just... I mean, like, it's obvious that they're pushing the fact that this is the sequel. The tagline is saying it's been 20 years and now they're back. So obviously, just look at that and say, oh, this is a sequel to something. But they could have just called it Independence Day 2 and actually, take in the fact that the first one was just a cheesy action blockbuster and just say, hey, you want to see another movie where aliens blow stuff up with a bigger budget and on a larger scale, like pretty much the whole world? Then here. And you can just call it They're Back. Not only referencing the fact that the aliens are back, but like, hello boys, I'm back. I love that. It's so cheesy, but I love it. If you've seen the original, you know what I mean. I assume you want to see it because you've seen the original, because this movie obviously comes off. I mean, like, seeing it, if you haven't seen the first one, I mean, it would help it would help. Like, oh, that's Jeff Goldblum. Oh, and he was in the first one. Oh, that's his dad. Oh, that's the president, but he's a bit older now. But if you haven't seen it, like, oh, who's that? Oh, that's his dad. Oh, okay. He used to be the president. Oh, okay. But still, it will help. So I'm getting lost track. There's a lot to mention. Okay. First point. With my dodgy finger. This movie rehashes a lot of it. Obviously, I like the joke, kind of said, they always go for the landmarks, but this movie rehashes a lot of it. Like, towards the end, where, like, wait there. Like, how they trick the aliens. They trick the aliens, how, like, the aliens are coming, and they don't really, and they're preparing for it, all that stuff. Because this movie and the last movie has so many plot points that are so similar, and just has and they basically have the same plot of aliens attack the Earth. I'm getting them mixed up. I don't know how I'm getting them mixed up, because both have different casts, somewhat, and and also one has like CGI tons, and one have with blown up models. But I'm getting them mixed up. Just know they rehash a lot of the last one. Just know that. My second point, if you watch the first one, that scientist guy, Data. You know how Data, was like basically the aliens communicated with the president using, like, put a tentacle around his neck and he made him talk, and and then when he let go, he was just on the floor. You assumed he was dead. I assumed he was dead. Like, oh, I thought he was in the trailer. I'm guessing that I was mistaken. No, in this movie, isn't really a spoiler. It doesn't matter. You're here to see this movie for big explosions, not like the what happened to these beloved layered characters, who you just know by calling them just by calling them who they're being played by. Hey, look, it's Jeff Goldblum. I don't know his name. It's Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum. The Data. No, he was in a coma for 20 years. Are you kidding me? I don't know why I'm getting angry about this. I'm not even that angry. When the movie was over, I literally said to the person next to me, "Wow, that was crap. That was God. I did not like that." I'm not gonna get too why. I said it in a comical way. I didn't go like, "That was garbage. I hated every moment of it," which I did not, obviously. I don't think I have that much hatred in my soul. Looks can be deceiving. But come on. Are you really gonna half-ass us like that? Yes, he was in a Data. He was in the Data. He was in a coma for 20 years, and now, when the aliens return, he wakes up. Are you kidding me? That's like soap. That's like cheesy soap opera, like stuff you joke about. That's like a joke. Like, man, no, he was actually in a coma for 20 years. Haha, wouldn't that be funny? No, in this movie he was in a coma for 20 years. That's like some cheesy stuff. Like, no, come on, that's a joke. Like, Harold has been in a coma for 20 years. Like, that's a Simpsons joke. I remember that joke off The Simpsons. And they do it here. And the thing is, they take it so seriously. Actually, I mean, like, this movie is so far off its own behind. Like, oh my gosh, the aliens are attacking. Like, the movie, Independence Day, it acts somewhat serious. Like, oh my gosh, people have died. But, like, there's so much hokey acting and, like, spaceships and stuff that I think the movie kind of knew, and it was made in the 90s. It kind of knew how cheesy and just like you're here for explosions. It was, even though it wasn't full of explosions. But this movie takes itself quite seriously. It's like trying to have some social commentary, like, this is the future, and with new technology, and we let it get to us and stuff like that. But oh man, I just had a mind blank then, and a brain fart. But yeah, but there's some scenes where, like, there's a lot of jokes in this movie, none of which I laughed at, by the way, and then they have, like, death scenes, and oh man, it's weird how I went out of Alice Through the Looking Glass going, that was bad, and I still think it was really bad, but I'm still on the edge between it sucked and it's bad. But this is the movie I'm like, yeah, didn't like it. That was awful. I didn't like it. It's weird because again, I'm normally very generous and forgiving when it comes to movies. I don't know why. It's just this. I'm having points later. Okay, third point. You know that strong president in the last movie, the one that like bloody got on a fighter jet and went up to fight the aliens, even though the general was like, no, you're president, we kind of need you after this, so no, don't possibly get yourself killed. But no, let him up anyway. This strong president made that speech. No, apparently he has some sort of like PTSD now. He's a bit crazy. He like uses a walking stick. He wakes up and has anxiety because, of course, that's normally like a cliche. Which the last one was full of cliches, like that, you know, like God help us. That movie, Independence Day, lives on cliches, and that's why I now have a niche for it. But this movie, it for some reason is also a cliche. Like, you know how the character was happy at the end of this movie? No, in the second one, his wife is dead. His kids have left him. Basically, Die Hard 4.0. But like here, no, you know that strong person. No, he has PTSD now. He's a bit kooky. Why can't he just still be happy and still awesome like in the last one? Why do they have to do that? But yes, that's what happened to him now. There's and by the way, did you know that after the first movie there's a battle between Africans and aliens that was still on Earth? No? Well, it happened. They don't show you it, they just reference it, but there you go. Moving on. This movie, I believe, is so manufactured, so half-assed, pardon my French, thinking, well, you know, we own Independence Day, just make a sequel to it. It's so, I mean, I don't really know what I could, what, like, sort of, like, genius idea I could do with it. Like, it was a movie about aliens invading Earth. I don't know what else they could do with that, besides the same thing, which they do here. And the movie begins with, you know, you're in space, and then it follows throughout space to the alien queen's spaceship, and it shows the alien queen looking at like a holographic Earth, and it shows a straight up clip, YOLO swag. I want to kill myself now. Suicide jokes, that's not for me. It shows a straight up clip of the president's speech from the last movie, like it, not like I don't know, audio, but it shows the clip, like the actual where the camera was, it shows the clip as if, I don't know, like the alien somehow had a little camera that filmed it from the perspective of where the camera was in the last movie. It shows a clip, like they got it off YouTube, put a filter on it, and put it where that hologram was, like, and they show it, like, and then the aliens get all angry, like, oh, he made that speech, we need to invade him again, and just, that's what I mean. Again, and my next point, the dialogue. Pretty much, the dialogue is either quippy, like, oh man, isn't that a kicker? Like it's either quips, like, you know, little comic, like, reactions, like, oh boy, isn't that crazy? I can't, and like, or like Jeff Goldblum, like, going like, ah, my gosh, we're in space, and like, there's a bit when, like, he's in a little ship, and it flies really fast to space, and he screams. I think that was meant to be it was meant to be funny. But I was mainly laughing at the fact that Jeff Goldblum was screaming like, ah, because he talks like that. That's pretty much exactly how he sounded, like, ah. But obviously with a little subdued facial expression, like, like we need to go faster to the dinosaurs. But yes, it's just the dialogue. It just feels like, hey, you, script writer, can you just write a script about, like, I don't know, like, aliens invading Earth, and how there's, like, I don't know, a guy who's, like, the hero, and he has a girlfriend, and they're gonna get married and stuff like that. And then there's a scene where they have dialogue, like, oh, what house are we gonna choose? Like, all this manufactured cliche, just generic, run-of-the-mill, you know, dialogue you've heard a bunch of times, like, in, like, not only blockbusters, but, like a bunch of genres, like I miss you, babe, I miss you too, what house are we gonna choose? Like, yeah, it meant to add development, but I didn't care. I honestly couldn't care. That's one of my points about this entire movie. I didn't care about a character. I didn't really care about anything. It's a bit like when I saw Maze Runner 2. I didn't care. I honestly couldn't. I couldn't care about a character. I couldn't care about anything. I know it's just Maze Runner. I could that came out shortly after the first one, but I saw Independence Day and this new one in a row, and I couldn't care. Like, you know, like, oh yay, these characters did it. Couldn't care less. But I'll tell you one thing. Like in the last movie, there was some good special effects. The CGI was actually pretty good. It's a big blockbuster made by 20th Century Fox, so I expected that. But the special effect, the CGI, was really good. There were some cool action scenes. And I forgot to mention this. In Independence Day, when I say stuff, I found similar. I just remembered the bit when Will Smith is in that, like he's, you know, going through this canyon to avoid the spaceship and he crashes. It reminded me of Force Awakens with the Millennium Falcon. Not that relevant actually, but yes, the special effects was quite good. For example, I think my favourite overall imagery in this movie that actually kind of brought something new, like wow, that's pretty cool, was when this big alien queen, like really tall, like was chasing this school bus with Jeff Goldblum and his dad and a bunch of random kids, and they're driving, and this giant queen is chasing them in this in this bloody desert, even though it was white and it wasn't snowing. Maybe it was snow, I can't remember. But that was some good imagery. Mainly because it made me think of Cloverfield, because the alien car looked like the Cloverfield monster, and you know, chasing people in Cloverfield. That's a plus. If you didn't know, that was a plus. It was very entertaining. The climax with giant alien gave some cool imagery. I misspelled imagery, doesn't matter, but you know, now it's corrected. But here's something. You know the characters from the first film? So I'm not gonna say who. Like you know, characters that actually lived. I mean, of course, from the first one, the main characters, they're good. Jeff Goldblum, they're all fine. President, they're all fine. But all those like main side characters, like that the guy who seriously feels like I just need to like clear his throat from Mr. Dapper, like, oh, Jeff Goldblum, we gotta hide. I gotta call my mother. I gotta call my lawyer. Actually, forget my lawyer. You know that guy? Yeah, he died from the first one because he didn't have much point to be in there. So obviously he died. But all the main characters, they were fine. Oh man. Which Jeff Goldblum, I don't really think, did he even find out he died? Like, oh, by the way, you know that croaky voice guy? Yeah, he died. Like, oh, that's a shame. Oh. But yes, characters who actually lived from the last movie. I'm not gonna say who. Some die. Like, okay, I'm guessing that character from the last movie, I guess he's dead now. Even a character, you know, probably Arno, one of the main characters, one of the best characters from the last movie. Yeah, and he dies for pretty pointlessly, actually. I'm not going to say who, but if you see it, you'll know. And he's a pretty big character in the Independence Day movies now. I say movies. Okay, pardon me. Okay, oh, Will Smith. His character died in a plane test. Sure. Good choice, Will Smith. I bet most of the people in this movie just, you know, they had nothing to do, so yeah, sure, I'll be in this one. I had nothing really happen with my career after the first one, because most of these people, I'm like, I know you from the first one and that alone, I don't know what else you have done. So I'm sure, like, being Independence Day 2, sure, I got nothing else to do. I was playing golf. But yes, there's a sequel bait. Now, you know, sometimes at the end of movies, they subtly hint there's going to be a next one. This one does it awfully. Like, Data might as well turn to the camera and said, see you in Independence Day 3. Now, before you say, I recently watched Jeremy Johnson's review, that's what he said. But, you know, it's so, he makes such a good valid point that, yeah, he might as well done that, because I'm just gonna say what he said, like, man, this girl kicks some alien ass, and then his credits, it's so bad, it's painful. I literally said to the person before the movie started, if they hint at a third one, which they most likely are, I'm gonna be annoyed. They did, and it was so bad. But yes, he might as well say it to the camera. Now the 3D, I don't know if it was me, I don't know if it was the glasses, I don't know if it was the projector, I don't know if it's the fact that I haven't seen a 3D movie in a long time, but not only was the 3D kind of pointless, like there was never a moment like, oh, it's in front of me, you know, basically take the glasses off, it's fuzzy, put them on, is very clear, that's pretty much all what it did, but like when I saw Mr. Sherman and Mr. Peabody, whatever it was, the projector kind of messed up, so like the character would be here, but then the same character would be faded over and slightly to the left. It's same here. I look at it wasn't with the actors like when they're in the foreground, but like something in the background, like there'll be an object and then the same object would be slightly faded over it. It didn't really bother me. The movie's still crap in my opinion. Now, by the way, when I say that a lot of people kind of left after it finished. Okay, I think one person came in like 5 minutes before the movie was over because they, like I said, oh look, they're playing Independence Day. Might as well wait for the last 5 minutes of this movie for when Independence Day Resurgence start. But not a lot of people were there. Back to the Future, yeah, because you know, like one of the greatest movies of all time, and you get to watch the trilogy, and it was like Back to the Future Day. Here, they're showing a sequel to a movie that's 20 years old. I don't know how much money this movie's going to. I don't think it's going to be very successful. I don't know the demographic for this movie. Me being the only 16-year-old there, that doesn't hold much weight because you know, whenever I go to like one of the early screenings, I'm normally the only person my age there, at least to my knowledge. But I don't understand. I think the only people this movie can market to is people that are nostalgic about the first one, you know, grew up on it, or just are generally a big fan of it, or people who just go, look at this trailer for this, I don't know, cool alien blockbuster disaster movie. I'll go see that. Even though the trailer and the poster and all the advertisement clearly says this is the sequel by a slogan, by like Jeff Goldblum going like, oh, it's bigger than the last one. And if you haven't seen the first, it doesn't matter. But you know, normally when I go like, well, I haven't seen the first one, I'd rather see the first one, so I'll just not bother. Or like, you know, if I do see the first one, I'm like, okay, I might as well see it. Even though I saw all three Alvin and Chipmunk movies because I was so young, I could have seen The Road Trip, but then I'm now. The satisfaction of saying I watched all of them will probably tear me apart, and probably I'll get ridiculed. So no. So yeah, people who are nostalgic and really like the first one, who are probably full-on adults now, and I don't know, people who just want to see generic alien blockbuster. Like I saw San Andreas and like, oh, that was fun. Saw stuff get destroyed. So I don't know how well it's gonna be. Yeah. I know how long it's going to be. It's probably 40 minutes now. Probably good. Because I'm talking about two movies here. But yeah. Independence Day. Strangely could have pushed it a bit so it could actually come out on Independence Day. But nah. I think that would have been a good choice. A bit like how the movie Mother's Day didn't actually come out on Mother's Day. Missed a good opportunity. Okay. Summing up then. Independence Day, the first one. Like I already summed it up, but you know, I had fun. 90s cheesy. I already summed up. I had fun with that. Seeing it on the big screen, at least I can say I saw it on the big screen for the first time, so that was cool. A movie I wasn't clamoring to see, but I saw it, and you know, a movie like an action movie classic to some people, I assume. But I saw it, and that was fun. Now that was good. Like you know, when Will Smith gets a scar, that's what I call close encounter. Stuff like that, and like Jeff Goldblum acting drunk, and like the person going like, and they communicate with me in my brain. They're going to invade Earth, and. By the way, there's so many instances in Independence Day Resurgence where, like, so many times they're like, yeah, we did it, and everyone screamed like, yeah, and they find out, actually, no, we didn't do it, and it's like, and then they're like, damn it, and then, like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes later, they think they did it again, they're like, yeah, and they find out they didn't do it, like, oh, damn it, it's, like, he's up and down, like, bipolar, it also takes a while to get going. Like Jeremy Johns also made this point at the start of Independence Day. Aliens are here. Second one takes a while to get going, and obviously look, all the kids are growing up, and now they're the heroes. And I was trying to be like I assumed pretty much every character I saw was related to someone from the first movie. Like that person related to someone. No, it's like Catherine. Is that Jeff Goldblum's new ex-wife, or is that same ex-wife? Obviously, I don't remember them by their names. But by the way, the president was completely useless. There's a female president here, and she was completely useless. All she did was say, "I approve, fire," and she always takes a while to answer. She goes, "Fire, just say fire. The time is of the essence. Don't nod and say fire. Just say fire." Something happens to her. Not gonna say. Probably a bit pointless. Will Fitchner is in here. That was a surprise. Okay. I'm just trying to run it through. Did I like Independence Day Resurgence? No. I thought the dialogue was cliche, generic, just run off the mill, just pumped out, manufactured like this movie. And I know it has moments of like acting a bit meta and acting a bit jokey, because this is just, they know. Oh look, we know it's just all silly, but most of the time they take itself really seriously. Like it's up its own behind, and it's messy. It's just a messy movie. I didn't necessarily enjoy it. Like it's like oh look, there's this random ball thing here now that apparently the aliens can get to. Like almost a half and a quarter way through. Halfway through they introduce some kids, and like. Yeah, this is weird. Like, okay, halfway through this movie, there's like a little girl, a teenage girl, and they're driving some other kids in the back, like I assume her siblings, and because their parents are either dead or somewhere else, I couldn't really care. And she's like, on a really, pardon my language, bitchy, and they passed like Jeff Goldblum's dad, who's like knocked out on his boat, and they say, and the kids in the back are like, but we gotta help this guy. And she's like, no, we don't have time. And when they get out to help him, she's like, oh, like I don't know, when her, like, as if her dad took away off, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, what, helping some guy who's knocked out very nobly, like, what's the matter with them? Like, I wouldn't act like that. So see, both movies, people don't really act that like a normal person normally would. But, you know, this is the future where technology, alien technology is combining. And I forgot to mention, in Resurgence, there's a Liam Hemsworth's character has a best friend. Very annoying, got on my nerves very quickly. Like there's a part where Arno, like he's joking, where he's like, "Oh, look at that random Chinese woman." I don't know her name. I say, "Oh, I love her," and he goes up to her and has obviously, this awkward dialogue because you know he's shy. He annoyed me very quickly. He tries to be funny like every couple minutes and like, "Oh my gosh, this is scary." Like, got on my nerves. Yes, Will Smith had a best friend. But, you know, their cheesy bromance actually kind of like me, ain't that nice? But here, annoyed the crap out of me. By the way, that Chinese woman, not a very good actress. She basically just has a staring, bug-eyed at everything. And there's a part where, like, her relative died. She tries to act like she's extremely distressed. I didn't really believe it. What's even the point? It's a sequel to a cheesy alien action movie. No one's looking for an Oscar piece. Like no one's expecting this to be a bloody like drama, like Oscar type thing. So I don't know what's the point, but I don't know. I have a lot to talk about. It made me kind of aggravated. I don't even know if it's even worth it. But there you go. For my own entertainment. Moving on. There's also like some weird there's also plot holes here. Like there's a part where apparently all the Will Smith's son and the president's daughter's boyfriend fiance, they're on a plane. They're all in planes. They're attacking the ship, and it was actually a trap, and their planes get blown up. And then suddenly, there's a few scenes later, it turns out they're on the ground of that ship, and pretty much everyone survived. I'm like, okay. Sorry if I spoiled it. I don't know. I don't know what else is in the. It's weird to spoil if it was a bloody Marvel movie. Yes, independent a sequel to a movie that's like 20 years old. Sure, No, I don't think so. Well, coming soon, we're gonna get a new sequel to Speed. We're also gonna get oh man, we're also gonna get a sequel. Let me just look around any action movies here. Gonna get a sequel to Con Air. 20 years later, Nicolas Cage is back and a bunch of bad guys. Okay, I'm going way over time. I found it messy, clunky, like the wrong kind of cliche and generic Independence Day 90s movie, and I like it how it's just like a cheesy 90s action movie, but here is a 2016 movie, so the cliches and the distractions and the inconsistencies and the plot holes and me not caring about any characters whatsoever, like I don't care if they succeeded or not. It was distracting. I had fun. The special effects, some action scenes were quite cool, but yeah, cool. There you go. Okay. A lot of people are gonna say, no, you're being too harsh. I mean, it's a cheesy cliche generic action movie. Just forgive it. No, I can't do that. I just have to go with my gut here. Okay then. Okay, this is Deano, another screen watcher like you, and I'm gonna go stare at the sky and like use my MacBook to put a virus War of the World style into like an alien spaceship. There you go. Well, that's what I call a close encounter.